Authorities in Ekrofom urge residents to return any items taken from scene of helicopter crash as military and police work to secure the area for investigation.
Former President John Ajay visits President Mahama and First Lady Nordina Mahama to express his condolences and solidarity.
Also tonight, prime suspect in murder of immigration officer Stephen King Amwa remanded into police custody for 2 weeks.
In other news tonight, Chamber of Mines demands tougher action on Galamsey after tragic loss of 5 government officials and 3 members of the Ghana Armed Forces lives.
And on the foreign front, President Xi Jinping tells Russian leader Putin that China welcomes Russia-US contract and improved ties aimed at politically resolving the Ukraine crisis peacefully. Well, details of these and many more stories, including sports and entertainment, coming up over the next 1 hour. Do stay with us.
Let's begin the bulletin from the authorities in Ekrofom urging residents to immediately return any items they may have taken from the scene of a recent helicopter crash as military and police work to secure the area for investigation. Now, security forces remain stationed in the community, enforcing a strict ban on farming in nearby forest zones, while recovery teams collect debris, including all helicopter parts and other critical evidence. Ibrahim Ubokar is joining us with the very latest from the operation. Thank you for joining us, Ibrahim. Good evening to you. Tell us about the attempts to recover parts of the helicopter still in the custody of some of the locals.
Well, Nobel, so after our report yesterday on the issue of some residents, local residents, picking part of the helicopter to their various homes, and the Member of Parliament for Ekrofom reached out together with the DC this morning. They mobilized, moved to the community. First, they wanted to commend the community for the support in retrieving these aids, to urge the residents to return any part that they have taken from the crash site. In fact, it was today we even got to know that it was not only part of the helicopter that the residents took home, but some also went to the extent of taking personal belongings of the victims to their various homes, to about watch and other items. So today, they had to go engage the traditional authorities, the youth, to ensure that they bring. In fact, the information or the admonishment they gave them was that even the smallest recovered part is very crucial to this exercise, in terms of the investigation. And as we speak, the police, the military are still on site trying to collect all debris or all parts of the helicopter so that it will be taken to Accra for further investigations to be done on it. But earlier, we spoke to the Member of Parliament for the area, Joseph Azuma, and let's listen to what he has been saying.
Watching news yesterday, and that one concern was that some who first visited the scene picked some, let's say, pieces of. So it was something that we thought wise to come and talk to them, do announcement, so that if there was something they picked from the scene, they can return it to also assist for the investigation that they need to conduct. We're happy that one of them brought a watch, a watch that he picked from the site or the scene. We have handed over to the leader of the team, the Armed Force team, who are currently here. We've also encouraged them that they should continue to cooperate, and that as government and as a Member of Parliament, the little we can do to support them, especially for those that cannot access their farms or go to their farms because of the restrictions. We also take into consideration how we can also take care of them for the short time until the ban or the restriction is lifted. The chief and elders have assured us that they are going to cooperate and that they are ready not to get close to any restricted area. So with that assurance, we hope that everything will be okay for the security to access and get whatever they need from the scene.
Okay. That's the voice and the video of Joseph Azuma. He's the Member of Parliament for Akrofrom, speaking with us there. But Ibrahim Abubakar is still on the line with us. Ibrahim, I want to think that they have succeeded in convincing the people to return the parts.
Exactly. So like he rightly mentioned, some have started returning the parts, but we do not know whether that is all. So even local leaders had to reinforce the message to the extent of issuing warning that whoever refused to comply with this directive will have to face that consequence, because that's what will aid in investigation. In fact, when I went there, I realized that the local authorities were ready to comply. They were ready to assist with investigation. So we are hoping that hopefully by the close of the week, the military or the police will be able to gather everything that they need to assist with the investigation. For now, the assemblyman, the unit committee members are also moving from room to room to make sure that no one has hidden any part of the aircraft crash or any item that will aid in investigation.
Ibrahim, thank you. Thank you so much for speaking with us. Ibrahim Abubakar is our Ashanti regional correspondent, updating us from the happenings in the Akrofrom community.
Also, former President John Kufuor has paid a visit to President John Dramani Mahama and First Lady Lordina Mahama at their residence to express his condolences and solidarity following the helicopter crash which claimed 8 lives on Wednesday. Now, former President John Kufuor was received by Vice Presidents Professor Nana Opoku-Agyeman and other government officials who expressed gratitude for his show of support. The Vice President, Professor Nana Opoku-Agyeman, who was part of the meeting, posted about the visit on her X account on Friday, August 8. She wrote, "In a gesture of solidarity and statesmanship, former President John Kufuor paid a visit to President John Dramani Mahama and the First Lady Lordina Mahama at their residence to express his condolences and support during this difficult time. I joined them and other government officials to receive him and thank him for his thoughtful gesture." Former President Kufuor also called for support for President Mahama and the government in this difficult moment. The former head of state also acknowledged that serving in public office comes with hazards, such as what has happened to the 8 public servants.
Well, we're still staying on this subject and where it is all coming from. This time, statesman and renowned economist Kwame Pianim has asked President Mahama to ban all non-industrial gold mining for at least 3 months as the country mourns the passing of the defense and environment ministers and 6 others. He says the accident is a litmus test for the president on dealing with what he calls existential threat. He spoke in an exclusive interview with Beatrice Adu.
It's with a heavy heart that we hear of this national tragedy. I think our condolences first go to all of us as a nation, to our president and head of government, and to him as the commander-in-chief of the armed forces and the security agencies, and of course to the CDS and its commanders, especially the Air Force commander, for their losses. I know Dr. Omane Boama. I saw him first as a young, very eager, passionate student trying to enter politics. Him and Honorable Ablakwa started out with us as NPP aspirants, very strong for democracy and human rights. And Honorable Muniru used to come here. He was probably more passionate about the second coming of President Mahama than most of the
used to come
other.
here in this house.
This house. He's a personal friend. He used to come here. So it's a great loss, nationally, personally. And our condolences also go to our friends and colleagues of the NDC. It is not easy to lose a political associate. So our sympathies go to them. And for me, the litmus test for the second coming of President Mahama is how he tackles and resolves the Galamsey issue. And the fact that these people of government and military personnel lost their lives in trying to go and listen and to resolve this problem is significant. It should turn all our attention to this problem. It poses an existential threat to the people of Ghana. We cannot continue to let Galamsey go on.
What is the most important how he deals with this one? The
existential threat to Ghana now, 2025, is Galamsey. It's polluting our waters. We've lost about 50% of the production in cocoa because people are cutting their cocoa farms to do Galamsey. If you travel across Ghana now, it's disgraceful. All our waters are like chocolate drink, brown, dying. A lot of them are dead. There's no fish going through our waters. It's an existential threat, and the president should focus on it and resolve it. And this loss is a strong reminder that this problem needs to be tackled and resolved. We had suggested that there should be a complete freeze, a 3-month, 6-month freeze on all non-industrial gold mining, so that a presidential commission is set up to look into it, and once they come out, they will have social response. How do we solve the social problems from this? How do we solve the medical problems? How do we solve the agricultural problems? So it is critical, and this accident has forced all of us to refocus.
And this suggestion of 3 months, you want it implemented immediately?
Immediately. It's an existential threat. When we say existential threat, it means if you don't solve it, the people of Ghana are dead.
Meanwhile, the acting Chief Justice Paul Bafo-Boni has cautioned against politicizing the tragic helicopter crash that claimed the lives of 8 men on Wednesday. Speaking after he led a team to lay flowers in honor of the deceased, he urged the public to remain peaceful and supportive during this moment of collective grief.
That tragedy. And yesterday, on behalf of the Judicial Service and the Judiciary, I released a statement of condolence to His Excellency the President, the government and the people, and the bereaved families. Now we are here to commiserate with the President by laying our flowers. And as I said yesterday in my statement, which was actually repeated by the President in his somber address to the people, these gallant men died in the course of duty. And so we should forge ahead in national unity and not politicize their deaths. We should all have recourse to their legacy they left behind and then serve our nations to the best of our ability. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Very few.
Well, the 2024 vice presidential candidate of the New Patriotic Party, Dr. Matthew Pokuprempe, who also paid tribute to the fallen Ghanaians, called on the political class to work in the public interest and at all times.
Today will be recorded in the annals of Ghana history. That the ultimate sacrifice has been paid by noble public servants of this country. this is a time of national grief. And I came here to pay my respects to Dr. Muniru, a junior colleague in medicine, a friend, and a brother. Muntala, battle of election, comparing notes and wishing for ourselves the Ghana that we all want to help build. Mr. Samuel Sopon is probably the only KMA mayor in the last 25 years whose tenure I attended every single KMA program that MPs were invited. He was a very, very good friend and somebody we shared lots with. For all these, plus other noble servants of Ghana, life to be perished, all I can say that we politicians must understand that the work we do day in and day out should inure to the ordinary citizens of this country. The welfare and the well-being of the average Ghanaian should be something that we strive for every day. If this can happen to such senior persons on the pursuit of something noble for citizens, then it can happen to everybody.
Let's now head to the Western region, specifically the Air Force Base in Takoradi, where a vigil is being held for the officers of the Air Force who passed in the helicopter crash. Pakojo Peters is our man on the ground. He joins us via Zoom with more updates on this. Pakojo, if you can hear me, can you describe to us the mood at the Air Force Base in Takoradi currently?
Yeah, Ayisha, a grief-filled moment here at the Takoradi Air Force Base due to the unfortunate incident which befell Ghana a few days ago. The Takoradi Air Force Base happened to be the base where the three crew have been working all this while. I was speaking to some of the colleagues here, and they told me the last time they saw them was just last Saturday. So tomorrow will be exactly a week when these three gallant men left the shores of the Western region, that is the Takoradi base, to Accra to perform their duty. But unfortunately, we've lost them. So this evening, they are organizing a candlelight vigil for them. As you can see from the background, we have family members, colleagues here to share in the grief of Ghana. And behind me, the Brigadier General, that is the Brigadier General for the Air Force in charge of religious affairs is here. The Commander in charge of affairs is here to lead the candlelight vigil. We've spoken to quite a number of their colleagues here, and they are all grief-filled. They are really saddened by the unfortunate situation which has befallen them. I'm told Squadron Leader Peter Annan, for instance, has been on the base here since 2019, and Flying Officer Ampedu has also been here since 2022. His wife receiving with the Naval Command here, she happens to be the psychologist for the two. So it's really a grief-filled moment for the colleagues over here at the airport base, Ayisha.
But Pakoji, can you also briefly tell us the significance of the Takoradi Air Force Base to these departed Air Force personnel?
Yeah, Ayisha, just as I stated earlier, they have been here all this while. Like I said, Squadron Leader Peter Annan, for instance, was sent here, has been here since 2019. And Ampedu has also come the Takoradi Air Force Base since 2022. And they just left here just last Sunday. So the colleagues here are expecting them to be back, but unfortunately, we've lost them. Unfortunately, we've lost them. So the airport space is really important to has happened. And this evening, they are organizing a Condolences vigil in India.
Right, Pakojo, we'll be looking forward to all of the tributes and speeches from that vigil. Pakojo Peters is our Western Regional correspondent with that update there.
Well, he would have turned 58 years today if his life wasn't cut short in that tragic helicopter crash on Wednesday, August 6th. At his family house in Damango, mourners, including members of parliament, described the late Alhaji Muniru and one of the 8 people who died in the helicopter crash as a peace-loving man.
Since the incident occurred, key individuals and groups have visited the family to sympathize with them. Member of Parliament for Damango constituency, Samuel Abujinapo, shared some thoughts about the fallen heroes.
The family house, the Limuna family house, and I've just been there to commensurate with them and to donate some water for them to be able to cater for the numerous visitors who are coming in here. In fact, 2 weeks ago he was in my office. As you know, Alhaji Limuna was an icon of Gonja land of Savannah region and Damango itself. Somebody who served as Minister of State for Scholarship, who served as Upper East Regional Minister, served as Northern Regional Minister, served as Cabinet Minister for Food and Agriculture, and in the line of duty as Deputy National Security Coordinator for Human Security. He perished and lost his life in these bizarre, very terrible circumstances. We can only wish ourselves condolences and cheer ourselves up and sympathize with ourselves and the family. But indeed, we wish that he will rest and abide in the bosom of the Lord until the last day of the resurrection, when we shall all meet again. Thank you.
President of the Gonjaland Youth Association, Alhassan Baba Darrison, believes a thorough investigation as directed by the President will bring some relief to the saddened families.
Having our voice and encouraging governments, as the President of Gonjaland Youth, on behalf of my membership, we are encouraging governments to do a thorough investigation and come out with the causes or the cause of this accident before we, the family members, can settle with the news and console ourselves and bring ourselves up to accept what has happened.
Government has meanwhile set Friday, 15th August 2025 to hold an interdenominational state funeral for the 8 heroes at the Black Star Square in Accra.
And a special prayer session has been held by the Muslim community across the Volta region Friday afternoon in memory of the 8 persons who lost their lives in that fatal crash. At the Workers' Estate Mosque in Ho, where the Volta Regional Minister joined the Muslim congregation, special prayers were said for the deceased persons, their families, and the entire country as part of a 3-day national mourning.
Friday afternoon's prayers was a special but solemn one in memory of the victims of Wednesday's tragedy. At the Workers' Estate Mosque in Ho, the congregation prayed to the Almighty Allah to grant the departed victims mercy and accept their souls. Sariki Ishao Turawa, chief for the whole Zongo, in a short message, urged Muslims across the region to dedicate their daily prayers to the memories of the victims.
So anybody he assigned the person on behalf of the nation. So this tragedy is not before only the president. It is the whole nation. So anytime we pray, because we Muslims we pray 5 times a day. If we pray, we should remember this country. Let's pray for the leadership, and let's pray for those who the presidency will work with. When the thing happened, it was an aeroplane, or for that matter, helicopter that carried them before the thing happened. When they were conveying them from Kumasi to Accra, they carried them in the same other plane. When they are sending their remains to South Africa for the test, it's in the same plane. It means that we will continue using flights, we continue using vehicles We continue using walking. Those who use motor will use motor. But our prayer is that may God protect us.
Well, as investigations continue, in the aftermath of the tragedy, the search for answers has begun. But one device holds the key to understanding what went wrong. It's called the black box. And this explainer Judith Brown explores the critical role of the black box in aviation accident investigations.
In the aftermath of the tragic helicopter crash that claimed the lives of 8 individuals, including 2 cabinet ministers in Ghana, the search for answers begins. At the heart of this investigation is a critical component that can provide valuable insights into the incident, the black box. Well, the black box, despite its name, is actually a highly sophisticated recording device that plays a crucial role in investigating aviation incidents. It's a device that has been instrumental in unraveling the mysteries of some of the most catastrophic events in aviation history. The black box consists of 2 main components: the flight data recorder and the cockpit voice recorder. The flight data recorder is a constant monitoring device which records flight trajectory, speed, altitude, engine performance, control surface positions, and system statuses. While the cockpit voice recorder, on the other hand, is like a witness to the events unfolding in the cockpit. It captures conversations between the pilots as well as any other sounds or warnings that may have occurred during the flight. So why was the black box created? The concept of the black box was first introduced in the 1950s and since then has evolved significantly. The Australian scientist Dr. David Waring, who worked on the investigation of the first commercial jet airliner crashes, invented the first practical flight recorder. The data recorded by the black box is a treasure trove of information that can provide critical insights into the events leading up to the crash. You can think of it as a watchdog. By analyzing the flight data recorder and the cockpit voice recorder, data investigators can reconstruct the flight path, identify system failures, understand pilot actions, and determine the cause of the crash. And so in this tragic case of the helicopter crash, the black box data will be crucial in determining the cause of the incident and providing insights into the events leading up to the tragedy. By analyzing the data, investigators can work towards preventing similar events in the future. The black box has played a crucial role in numerous aviation accident investigations worldwide. From the Air France Flight 447 crash, which resulted in the loss of 228 lives, to the US Airways Flight 1549 miracle on the Hudson River, the black box has provided critical information that has helped investigators piece together the events leading up to the incident. The black box is more than just a device. It's a window into the past, a tool that can help us understand what went wrong and how we can prevent similar incidents in the future. The search for answers continues, and the black box will play a vital role in uncovering the truth behind this tragic event. As we reflect on the lives lost, it is the hope of Ghanaians that the investigation will provide closure for the state and, most importantly, the families of the deceased. Judith Brown, TV3 News.
Moving on to some other stories this evening, the prime suspect in the murder of immigration officer Stephen King Amwa has been remanded into police custody for 2 weeks. Wrights were believed to be the last person Amwa contacted before his disappearance appeared before the Adabraka District Court on Friday, August 8, 2025. Amwa, who is 38, was reported missing on July 3 after leaving home to meet a friend at Ashongman Estate. His partially burnt body was discovered 5 days later at Abom Junction near Kwabinya. The case, initially treated as a kidnapping, has been reclassified as murder and transferred to the Adabraka District Court, which has broader jurisdiction. At a press briefing on Monday, August 4, 2025, the Director General of the Criminal Investigations Department, COP Lydia Yakubu, recounted the horrifying details uncovered by forensic teams at multiple crime scenes. This included bloodstains in the living room and evidence of attempted cleanup, freshly sprayed walls, and empty cans of spray paint. This is News 360. We have some business news coming up next. Do stay with us.
I love perfume.
Welcome back to the broadcast. Manu Afol is joining us for the latest in the world of business. Manu, good to see you. What do you have for us tonight?
Thank you so much. So as we continue to mourn, the Chamber of Mines is asking for stricter sanctions on Galamsey so that, you know, the debts won't be in vain.
Right. Bring us the details.
Thank you so much. Good evening and welcome to the business segment on News360. I am Manu Afol. The Ghana Chamber of Mines is urging government and stakeholders to take a stronger stance against illegal mining following the tragic deaths of 5 senior government officials and 3 members of the Ghana Armed Forces. The chamber says their passing should mark a turning point in Ghana's long battle against galamsey and environmental destruction.
Chief Executive of the Ghana Chamber of Mines, Engineer Dr. Kenashigbe, in an interview with 3 Business, expressed deep sorrow over the deaths, describing them as passionate advocates for responsible mining and environmental protection.
Some of them are men that we have had very good relationships with, the 2 ministers of state, working together with them to deal with the challenges of illegal and irresponsible mining. And so this is a difficult time for us as a country. And personally, I spoke at the event that they were coming to. You know, before all of this happened, and I have moved from a state of pain to a state of anger now.
He called for their legacies to be honored with urgent coordinated action to end illegal mining, which continues to devastate forests, pollute water bodies, and threaten communities across the country.
You know, we want to change the nomenclature from galamsey to environmental crime and say that these people are environmental criminals, including their cohorts, you know, the politically exposed persons, you know, that these people work for. His Excellency, the President, calls them the kingpins. All of them are environmental criminals. We seem to have normalized, you know, it when we say galamsey, and it's almost been normalized. But these are people who go out, you know, to rape this country, go out and the activities result in death, you know, of people, including, as you recall, you know, Major Mahama who died, and then now the 8 that we have lost. We cannot as a country afford to allow this crisis to pass.
Meanwhile, as more tributes continue to pour in from the business community, Chief Executive of Dalex Finance, Joe Jackson, says the unity resulting from the dead should be channeled towards the fight against illegal mining.
The tragic death of the 5 senior government officials and 3 members of the Ghana Armed Forces has come as a big blow to members of the business community. From the Association of Ghana Industries, AGI, in this time of profound loss, may we all find strength in knowing that their valor and commitment have made an enduring impact on our nation. According to CATS International, tears may never seem enough to match the gratitude of this loss. But, as the Greek poet Aeschylus wrote, in our sleep, pain, which cannot forget, falls drop by drop upon the heart until in our own despair, against our will, comes wisdom through the awful grace of God. From the Chartered Institute of Administrators and Management Consultants, Ghana, also extends a heartfelt condolences to the government and people of Ghana and the bereaved families, offering its deepest sympathies. However, Chief Executive of Dalex Finance, Joe Jackson, says their death should not be in vain.
Galamsey has taken away our water, our health. Galamsey has taken away our livelihoods. Now Galamsey has taken away the lives of those who we hold dear to us. My only request is that that same spirit of unity, that same spirit that is driving this nation today, don't let the reason why they were going on that trip be in vain. Otherwise, their deaths
would have been in vain.
Let's now take a look at what's happening on the forex and commodities markets. And that's how we wrap up the business segment tonight on News 360. I am Muniru. Our full sports news comes up next. Please stay with us.
Reporting from the Takoradi Market Circle.
From the heart of the Upper West Regional Capital.
From the heart of the Ashanti Kingdom.
Reporting from Sunyani.
From the Central Business District of Navrongo.
The parliamentarians are on recess.
This is where it all unfolds. The moments that potentially alters the course of our nation and the world. These are the individuals we recognize, the voices we amplify, who appears on screen and who contributes behind the scenes. With professionalism at our core, we bring you news you can trust, impact journalism that makes a difference. This illustrates how diverse perspectives enhance our strength and reinforces our mission. This is 3 News, leaders in breaking news, exclusive interviews, facts and analysis on TV, radio, online and digital. 3 News, first in news.
Reporting from the Takoradi Market Circle.
From the heart of the Upper West Regional Capital.
From the heart of the Ashanti Kingdom.
Reporting from Sunyani.
From the Central Business District of Navrongo.
The parliamentarians are on recess.
This is where it all unfolds. The moments that potentially alters the course of our nation and the world.
Spray and coil.
Hello there, good evening and welcome to the sports segment here on News360. My name is Bill Ishe. Now, Ghana International Thomas Partey says he had considered all factors leading to his decision on his future following the end of the 2024-25 season. Partey's contract with Arsenal expired in June, but the Premier League side could not find an agreement with the midfielder. Despite attracting interest from several clubs in Europe as well as Saudi Arabia, the former Arsenal star joined Villarreal on a 2-year deal.
No, I think the first thing is where are you happy, where you feel at home. And at the end of the day, you've been playing football, you've been in a different team. It's not going to be like the last thing you play or the first thing you're going to play. So where you feel happy, and then what is your next objective? What do you want to achieve next? You know? So you still have to look at all this, and at the end of the day, we all have a family that will say, oh, we need money, you know, because this is our mind. We are not getting younger. We are working. So there are a lot of things you have to look where you, now with the family, where you want your family to be happy, where you feel like, oh, when you go out, nobody is going to, you know, destroy your family. So these are the things you have to look at. But before, when you are young, you just go anywhere.
Now, Marc-Andre ter Stegen has released a statement after FC Barcelona stripped him of the captaincy and opened a disciplinary case against him last Thursday. Now, FC Barcelona announced last Thursday that it had temporarily stripped Marc-Andre ter Stegen of one of the captaincy due to an open disciplinary case against the German goalkeeper. Now, prior to the surgery, ter Stegen estimated a 3-month recovery, a timeline that did not sit well with the club, which is hoping his absence stretches beyond 4 months. That would allow Barcelona to free up 80% of his salary and register Joan Garcia as a long-term injury replacement. The situation escalated when ter Stegen refused to sign an authorization allowing Barcelona to submit his medical report to La Liga's medical committee for evaluation. Now here are excerpts from the statement of ter Stegen. He says, in recent weeks, many things have been said about me, some of them entirely unfounded. Therefore, I feel it is necessary to express my version of events respectfully yet clearly. And the decision to undergo surgery was made in consultation with medical professionals and was approved by the club. And he's also clarifying that the club's signings and contract renewals were completed prior to his surgery, and therefore it should not be the reason why those new signings should be registered. Moving on, Manchester United are edging ever closer to signing their new number 9, while Chelsea are working to bring in a Red Devils outcast. My colleague Andrew Sifa-Banfo provides a wrap of transfer news for Friday.
Slovenian striker Benjamin Sesko has reportedly completed his medical ahead of an €85 million move to Manchester United. The RB Leipzig man is expected to be unveiled at Old Trafford on Saturday. Saudi Pro League side Al Nassr have set their sights on Bayern Munich winger Kingsley Coman and have already begun negotiations with both the club and the player over a summer move. The 29-year-old Frenchman is seen as the club's primary target for the wing position as they continue to strengthen their squad. Ethan Nwaneri has signed a new long-term contract with Arsenal. The 18-year-old has reportedly penned a 5-year deal. Nwaneri became the youngest player in Premier League history when he made his Ghana's debut in 2022. Chelsea have moved one step closer to London Alejandro Garnacho. The Blues are understood to have agreed terms with the Manchester United winger, though they have yet to find common ground with United on the transfer fee. Garnacho is out of favour at Old Trafford, with Ruben Amorim adding Matthias Cunha and Brian Mbeumo to his attacking options after falling out with his number 17.
That's it for the sports segment here on News360. My name is Belishan. Entertainment is up next.
Entertainment news segment is brought to you by GTP Lifestyle and Napa Foods. Heaven Black Insecticide Spray and Coil. Powered by 3 Entertainment.
Well, good evening and welcome to the entertainment news segment here on News360. My name is Noella Donko. Now, AS Ghanaian sound engineer Pierre Dankwa, known popularly as Apietus, has asserted that the late Ghanaian music icon, Daddy Lumba, was an exceptional talent and a distinguished artist who always strived for the highest quality in his music productions. In his reflections on working with the late Daddy Lumba, Apietus, now based in London, highlighted Lumba's artistic vision as a key factor in their efficient and smooth production process.
Every song I did with Daddy Lumba was a big hit. Name any song I appeared to do with him. In Pim Pim was big. Ojibos was Sika. The Viasin Yina Yiwama was a big hit. Family Lumba, the Abepum, Apietus, was a big hit.
Apietus emphasized that Lumba had a strong idea of the sound and direction he wanted for his music, making it easy to collaborate and achieve the desired results. The renowned sound engineer's words suggest a high level of respect and admiration for the musician's artistic standards and work ethic.
He's very talented, so you don't hustle to get the best out of him. Some artists, you really have to go the extra mile to be able to get the best out of them. But Daddy Lumba, no. You know, when the idea is good, you adapt it. So it's not difficult. And you can easily get the good one. This is going to work.
Apietus met Daddy Lumba in 2005, and together they created timeless hits including Impim Pim, Ojiboso, Sika, and Ensure Remix.
I met Daddy Lumba around 2005. We started this whole journey together and made a lot of hits. Started the songs a lot, and we had a lot to do, and now he's passed.
Apietus is also the sound engineer responsible for Daddy Lumba's popular political campaign song Nana Yawena.
Remix means Eda remix, Impim Pim, Ojiboso, Nanewu, Odonsu, Ayu. The songs we played. Yeah, we did a lot of songs. I think I did like 20 songs for him.
Whilst sharing his grief, Apietus acknowledged Lumba's legacy will shine brightly forever.
And that'll be it for the entertainment news segment here on News 360. My name is Noella Donko.
Let's now bring you into international news.
President Xi Jinping has told Russian President Vladimir Putin in a phone call on Friday that China is pleased to see Russia and the United States maintaining contact and improving ties to advance a political resolution of the Ukraine crisis. Chinese state broadcaster CCTV quoted Xi as telling Putin Beijing will maintain its stance on the need for peace talks and a diplomatic resolution to the conflict. The call came after the Kremlin said on Thursday that Putin would meet U.S. President Donald Trump in the coming days in the search for an end to the war. Now, in its fourth year, Friday's call between Xi and Putin was their second in less than 2 months. The two countries have further bolstered their economic, trade and security cooperation since Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine in February 2022, which triggered a sharp deterioration in Moscow's relations with the West. The World Health Organization has said hunger and disease are spreading in war-torn Sudan, with famine already present in several areas. The WHO warned that 25 million people face acute food insecurity, with nearly 100,000 cholera cases recorded since last July.
Well, that's how we draw the curtains on tonight's edition of News 360. But there's always more news on our website, 3news.com. I am Crosby Annan.
And I am Ayisha Yakubu. Good evening.